Welcome back to Top 10 Paradise. Today we're diving into a world of precision planning, wild risks, and unbelievable escapes. This is the top 10 biggest bank robberies of all time. These aren't small-time smash and grabs. These are multi-million-dollar operations pulled off by criminal masterminds who sometimes got caught and sometimes vanished without a trace. So sit back, because some of these heists were so bold, they sound more like movie plots than real life. Let's get into it. 10. The Bank of America Robbery, North Hollywood, USA, 1997. In February 1997, two heavily armed men, Larry Phillips and Emil Matasarianu, entered a Bank of America branch in North Hollywood wearing homemade body armor and carrying automatic weapons. Their plan was simple: go in fast, get the money, and get out. But things didn't go as planned. Police were already nearby and quickly responded, leading to one of the most intense gunfights in American history. For 44 minutes, over 2,000 rounds were exchanged between the robbers and police. It was all broadcast live on television. In the end, the robbers were killed. They didn't escape with the $4.5 million they hoped for. But this robbery changed the way police departments across the U.S. equipped their officers forever. 9. Dunbar Armored Robbery, Los Angeles, USA, 1997. Later that same year, a much quieter, yet far more successful heist went down just across town. Alan Pace worked as a regional safety inspector at Dunbar Armored. Using his insider knowledge, he disabled security systems and led 5 accomplices into the cash vault without raising a single alarm. They stole $18.9 million in under 30 minutes. The team kept a low profile, laundering the money slowly. And it might have worked if one of them hadn't given a friend a stack of marked bills to repay a debt. That small slip cracked the case wide open. All members were caught, but most of the money still missing. 8. Banco Central Heist, Fortaleza, Brazil, 2005. This one sounds like it came straight out of Ocean's 11. Over 3 months, a gang of criminals rented a building in Fortaleza, Brazil, posed as landscapers, and dug a tunnel 78 meters long, nearly the length of a soccer field, straight into the Banco Central's vault. When the bank reopened after a weekend, over 160 million Brazilian reais, about 70 million USD, was gone. No alarms were triggered. No one saw a thing. The heist was described as flawless. While several people were eventually arrested, the vast majority of the money was never found. 7. Northern Bank Robbery, Belfast, Northern Ireland, 2004. On December 20th, 2004, 2 employees of Northern Bank were targeted in a terrifyingly calculated plan. Armed men entered their homes in the night and took their families hostage. The employees were told to go to work the next day as if nothing happened. Then, after hours, they allowed the robbers inside the bank's headquarters. That night, the gang escaped with £26.5 million, about $50 million, mostly in used and untraceable notes. The case remains shrouded in mystery. No one has ever been charged with the robbery, although some believe it was politically motivated and possibly linked to the IRA. 6. The Securitas Depot Robbery, Kent, UK, 2006. This was the biggest cash robbery in British history. Disguised as police officers, a gang kidnapped the depot manager and his family. They used them as leverage to force their way into the Securitas cash depot in Tonbridge, Kent. Once inside, they tied up the staff and loaded up £53 million. That's around $92 million into waiting vehicles. It was bold, terrifying, and nearly perfect. Most of the robbers were eventually caught through a combination of CCTV footage and surveillance. But like many on this list, the money itself mostly vanished. 5. Knightsbridge Security Deposit Robbery, London, UK, 1987. This one has all the flair of a Hollywood caper. Italian Playboy criminal Valerio Vice, already wanted for more than 50 armed robberies in Italy, pulled off one of the most glamorous heists in London history. Posing as a wealthy client, Vice arranged a meeting at the Knightsbridge Safe Deposit Center. Once inside, he and his accomplice overpowered the staff and let in the rest of the gang. They looted the safety deposit boxes, stealing over $97 million worth of valuables. Vice fled to South America, but couldn't resist coming back to London to retrieve his Ferrari. That's when police caught him. He later died in a shootout in 2000 while on day release from prison. British Bank of the Middle East, Beirut, Lebanon, 1976. During the Lebanese Civil War, chaos provided the perfect cover for one of the most daring robberies of all time. A gang of thieves believed to be affiliated with the PLO blasted through a wall from a neighboring church and gained access to the British Bank of the Middle East. Over 2 days, they looted the vault, walking away with over $100 million in gold, cash, and jewels. The robbers were never caught. With the ongoing war, there was little investigation, and the money simply disappeared into the fog of conflict. 3. Central Bank of Iraq robbery, Baghdad, Iraq, 2003. In March 2003, just before the U.S. invaded Iraq, nearly $1 billion was quietly withdrawn from Iraq's central bank. It's believed that Saddam Hussein himself ordered the heist, sending his son Qusay to collect the money. U.S. forces later found hundreds of millions hidden in walls and palaces, but much of the cash is still unaccounted for. No violence, no explosions, just a handwritten note, and an entire vault emptied. 2. The Brink's-Mat robbery, London, UK, 1983. What was supposed to be a basic armed robbery turned into one of the biggest gold thefts in British history. 6 men stormed the Brink's-Mat warehouse near Heathrow Airport, expecting to steal cash. Instead, they stumbled upon 3 tons of gold bullion worth £26 million, more than $100 million today. What followed was a tangled web of money laundering, betrayals, and multiple murders. Only a small amount of the gold was ever recovered. The rest was melted down and sold back into the market. It's said that if you own gold jewelry in the UK today, a small part of it might come from this heist. 1. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist, Boston, USA, 1990. Okay, so it's not technically a bank, but this heist is still one of the biggest and boldest thefts in modern history. 2 men dressed as Boston police officers tricked their way into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum after hours. Once inside, they tied up the guards and spent 81 minutes stealing 13 priceless works of art, including pieces by Rembrandt, Vermeer, and Degas. Estimated total value? Over $500 million. To this day, none of the artwork has ever been recovered. No one has ever been arrested. The museum still keeps the empty frames on the walls, waiting for the art to come home. From tunnels beneath city streets to high-level political thefts and unsolved art heists, these robberies prove that sometimes reality is wilder than fiction. Which one blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments. And while you're at it, give us a like, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss the next wild countdown right here on Top 10 Paradise. Until next time, stay curious, stay smart, and stay safe.